Have you ever really stopped to think about the words you use every single day? It turns out that even the simplest ones, a word like new, can hide this whole fascinating world of sound, meaning, and connections. So today, we're going to dig into one of the most common words in the English language and see what makes it so important.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. Getting by with only 850 words, it sounds pretty much impossible, doesn't it? But what if it wasn't? What if you had this perfectly chosen linguistic toolkit that was all you needed for clear, powerful, everyday communication?
Well, believe it or not, a system like that actually exists. It's a specially designed toolkit for language, and it was created to be this incredibly efficient way to communicate with people all over the world. It's called Basic English, and you can just think of it as the ultimate Lego set for building almost any idea.
And yeah, at the heart of the whole thing is that list of 850 words. And the word we're exploring today, new, is a key player in this powerful set. It wasn't just thrown in there. It was chosen because it's one of the most essential and versatile words you can possibly use. So come on, let's peel back the layers and see what makes it so special.
Okay, first things first. Let's just listen. Let's break down the actual sound of the word new. It seems so simple, right? But there's actually a surprising amount of detail and variation packed into this one little syllable.
So, check this out. In the UK, you'll often hear it pronounced as new. See that little J symbol? It represents a yes sound, that little glide at the beginning, new. But in the US, it's typically a cleaner, more direct new. It's a tiny little change, but it can instantly tell you where a speaker might be from. But wait, it gets trickier. That sound, new, doesn't just belong to our word new. It shares its exact pronunciation with gnu, the animal. New, as in I knew that. And nu, a letter in the Greek alphabet. It just goes to show you how much work our brains are doing in a split second, using context to figure out exactly what we mean.
All right, now let's get to the real meat of it, because this is where its power for something like Basic English really starts to shine. It turns out new isn't just one single idea. It's a word with two totally distinct personalities.
First up, we've got the one we're all familiar with, the one about time and age. Put simply, if something is new, it hasn't been around for very long. It's fresh, it's recent, it just showed up.
Right, so when you hear a new car, you instantly get it. It was made recently. It's the complete opposite of an old, beat-up car. This first definition places the word squarely on a timeline. Simple.
But new has this whole other side to it, and this one has nothing to do with physical age. It can also be about a person's level of experience or how familiar they are with a place or a situation.
In this example, nails that second meaning perfectly. A new worker isn't necessarily a young person. They're just inexperienced at that specific job. Same word, totally different meaning. And that flexibility, being able to pack two core concepts into one simple word, is exactly what makes new a superstar in an efficient system like Basic English.
Words don't just exist in a vacuum. They have friends, they have opposites, they even have family members. And exploring this social network for the word new tells us even more about how versatile it really is.
Just look at how its connections totally shift depending on which personality it's using. For that not old definition, its synonyms are words like recent or novel, and its clear opposite is, of course, old. Easy enough. But for the not experienced meaning, its buddies are words like inexperienced or even green, while its antonym is experienced. The word literally changes its friend group depending on the job it's doing.
And the family tree for new is, well, it's surprisingly big. This one simple root gives us so many other useful words. Newly tells us how something was done. To do something anew is to start over. Newness is the quality itself. And get this, even the word news comes from the idea of learning about new things. It's an incredibly productive little word.
So let's pull all of this together and circle back to where we started. Why does digging into a word like new even matter? Well, it all comes back to the genius behind Basic English and the hidden strength you find in simplicity.
And here it is, the key takeaway. We don't always need complicated, fancy vocabulary to express powerful ideas. These foundational words, the real workhorses of our language like new, are some of the most powerful tools we have. They're flexible, they're rich with meaning, and you can combine them to build almost any idea you can imagine.
That is the real power of a system like Basic English, and it's something to remember. The most effective tools for communication are often the ones we completely overlook. So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you're talking, just think about the building blocks you're using. What other simple word do you rely on every single day without ever stopping to appreciate its hidden depth?